So what is it? This DevOps consulting thing that we offer. I've been doing DevOps consulting for quite some time. I started back in 2010 when I moved to the US, providing as a DevOps consultant. I was employed as a DevOps consultant by a boutique consulting company in the US in Seattle. And I did consulting for 3 years, operating out of there. And when I moved back to the UK, I started offering that service to myself to other customers. And it really takes a bunch of different forms, right? Some of it is just helping people understand DevOps. So I do presentations, I do workshops, I do just conversations, right, around DevOps, what it is, what it means to organizations. Quite often that's with leadership teams. It depends who turns up, right? But I also offer a lot of, or have done a lot of consulting in the Azure DevOps space. A lot because of my background as a Microsoft MVP in DevOps, right, in the Azure DevOps space, and my history with the Azure DevOps team and Azure DevOps Consulting. So quite a lot of people that come to me definitely have a Microsoft tint in their way of working. It's not exclusive, right? It's not required, but that quite often happens. If you're known as an expert in a particular tool, then people tend to gravitate towards you that way, which is a lot of fun. And I love talking about Azure DevOps and how it works. So some of that consulting is tool based, right? What is Azure DevOps? How does it work? How can it help an organization? How can they use it better? How can they help people and their teams adopt it better? But the tools and techniques, the techniques that I talk about can be applied to any tool, whether you're using Jira, right, or TeamCity. These are all tools that I've worked with and helped companies with as well. And Azure DevOps Consulting kind of takes a number of forms because there's a bit in potentially understanding what it is that you're doing. Some organizations want like a report, right? Where are we? Are we actually doing DevOps? Do we actually generally understand what it is? And I've come in and done, they used to be called DPSs. Microsoft had a name for it because there was some funding for it for enterprises, deployment planning services. And effectively, it's a state of DevOps report. What is the current state of DevOps in your organization? And I would come in, spend a week with folks in your organization, interviewing them, talking about how they're building products, their ways of working. And then I would build a report on what's the current state of DevOps in your organization and what are the things that you're going to need to tackle. What are the opportunities for improvement, places where things aren't going so well? And what if you only did three things? What are the top three things? That's quite a common one. I've done that a lot, both DevOps and Agile, right? That's same story, works in both places. But ultimately, consulting is about coming in and actually provoking change inside of an organization. So the most common thing that I do is just coming in and talking to folks. Got one recently, kind of on a little bit of a retainer with a large manufacturing organization in Switzerland. They're all over the place, but the people I work with are in Switzerland, and we talk. That's really all it is from my perspective. We talk, I answer questions, we engage on different topics, we understand how, talking about how they're doing work, how they could maybe change the way they do work, how could they change the way they do the work better. Then they go off and try things in their organization. They change the way they do things, see if it works for them, and then come back for another session with more feedback, more ideas, more problems, and we discuss and figure them out. I have quite a few customers that are in that category. So that's the DevOps consulting. I also provide some technical help and support. That's maybe something of note. I actually still write code today. That's Martin still writes code. Yep. I built, support, and maintain a product that allows you to migrate data around in Azure DevOps. So taking a project and splitting it or merging projects, whatever it is that you want to be able to do. Been working on it since 2016. Before then, 2015, 2016 is when I started that product. And lots of people use it. So sometimes they have questions about how they should use it. What capabilities does it have? Can they get any help and support with it? Can they get training for it? So I do provide that as well, and I kind of include that in DevOps, right? Because it's part of that they're doing DevOps stuff and they want help with their DevOps stuff. So really, it's quite broad. DevOps is this very broad consulting area where I might just talk to people, or I might go all the way to helping them with their tooling and helping them figure out how to use it better. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, follow, and subscribe. I always reply to comments, and if you want to have a chat about this or anything else Agile, Scrum, or DevOps, then please book a coffee with me through NKD Agility.